Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to Team Fortress TV, where tonight we actually do have an awesome game in store for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not milking it this time around. It's not going to be 5-0, 3-1 like last night, but this time around we have a proper game at our hands, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pledge, and today I'd like to guide you through this game. In the blue, we're going to see Skidmark Central, a team that so far has had a very rough season. They have 2 map wins and 4 map losses, and while the teams and the players and everyone involved with competitive Team Fortress 2 thought they'd be able to clinch the 4th spot this season, the same thing which they did last season, they have had a little bit of a struggle. Obviously, against the other side, we're going to see Epsilon eSports, a team that hasn't lost an online game since June 19th. Might I add, the demo man in the team that beat them back then was Cadus, who is up against them right now. We're going to have to wait and see if Epsilon is going to bring their powerhouse self out of the bag, or if they're going to have their PCW, Practice Clan War self, coming out of the bag, which might actually be beaten here by Skidmark Central. The guy who's going to be able to help me commentate on through all of this, apart from Warden, our cameraman, is also going to be the lovely Irish potato head, also known as caster of the season, James Admirable McDonald. How are you doing, James?
Yeah, man, I'm pretty good. Just sort of blowing the dust out of my microphone here. I haven't been casting for quite a bit. A number of weeks. Had a cast last night with the lovely Mia. That was a first, but now I'm here
flowers? With... That's a big question. Did you actually bring flowers?
I brought flowery language. I didn't bring actual flowers. Maybe a LAN or something, I don't know. But I don't know how this works, Pledge. Women, they mystify me.
That's true. Actually, I'm not actually surprised by that at all. Twice casters of a season in a row, and then you lay your microphone down, and then you come back. Are you expecting to make some sort of casting comeback? Is that what's happening over the next few weeks?
Well, Pledge, you know, I hope you're not mad. Just take it easy, buddy. You sound like a guy with a chip on his shoulder.
I just want to know
you
if
scared?
you come back and help me out,
scared?
Man. Like I'm tired of carrying the shit, man. I want you to come back and help me out. Like help a fellow casting pro out.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be casting quite a few games. Probably not playing so much since Crack Clan ruthlessly kicked me out. You know, man. I had to get counselling for that shit. You know,
they've been doing better with that Swedish guy as well.
Yeah,
you're not gonna believe it. They're looking good.
They've got
this
nobody
season.
to argue against Ibs.
That's basically what it is, yeah. And but obviously, ladies and gentlemen, we kid. This game, Skidmark Central versus Epsilon eSports. James, you said to me before the game, you're not going to expect Epsilon to give away a cap, even. You're going to expect Epsilon to just do what they've been doing all season and all the past seasons, and it is just very casually just win the game. You came out right and said that.
I didn't say anything about caps. I just reckoned it was going to be a 20-minute game, so maybe they'll get 1 cap. But yeah, I'm just going off basically looking at ETF2L results and haven't seen a few casts throughout the season, but I haven't been following this one as closely as I have in the past. But yeah, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be the pessimist and say, yeah, these kids are no good. Epsilon going to smash.
I'm not sure, man. Like, this is the thing. I said to you before the game, I have a theory. And I do actually have a theory. Epsilon so far this season, we saw it last week against Revolution Meta game. I don't know if you guys were here for that, any of the viewers. But Revolution, on Process specifically, they won so many middles. And they did the same on Granary. They won pretty much all the middles. And Epsilon eSports seems to be losing middles and seem to be playing a very bad first 10 minutes, where they have to try and figure it out. Now, Revolution Meta game, arguably, is not as good and not as refined as the Skidmark Central team that we're going to see. I'm going to say, and I've been thinking about this in my head, and I want to get this right. I think that if Skidmark Central, coming out of a couple of middle wins in the first 3 rounds, if they can get a 2-0 lead very, very quickly, like 2 rounds very quickly, they might be able to overrun Epsilon here. And then we can go to a close game, because obviously Epsilon's going to recuperate themselves, and we might have some sort of 5-3 something going on, right? I think Skidmark Central is going to have to shoot out of the starting positions. They have to win a couple of rounds really, really quickly in order to actually have a chance here against Epsilon. But I think, as a team, they can do this.
Well, it could happen. I think Epsilon didn't have the best of warm-ups. I know Crack Clan cancelled on them. A bit of retaliation, I think, from yesterday's cancellation by Epsilon of Crack Clan before their official. So it's just tit for tat there. But, you know, Nox was really upset. He was messaging me on Steam. He was like, oh my god, Crack Clan are assholes since you left, man. What is this? And I'm not sure how that's going to affect the rest of his team, but we're going live here, Played, so take it away, buddy.
Yeah, we're going to go live, and we're going to have to wait and see if Skidmark Central can do what I said they would do here. In the blue, up against Epsilon eSports in the red. Week number 5, ladies and gentlemen, of ETF2L Season 15. And you see Gear flying through the air. Can he manage to get the pick there? He cannot. It is very weak, though, and Numlock picking up the first frag at Admirable.
Yeah, Greg goes down, and Flisco is just stranded up there. Tries to push in while the rest of his team is forced back. That aggression from Gear really stalled out Skidmark Central. I almost called him BFF, but I'm going to manage to maintain some sort of professionalism. And we see Numlock just walking forward here all alone, forcing them back into that lower side. And that's the danger if you hold there. You don't have control of that computer room. And that's the way Epsilon love to push. They always push from PC through that way. And right now it looks like they're going to Uber in here, Played.
Yeah, they're going to move on straight in here. Uber both get exchanged. 6 versus 4 scenario, though, as Dallas only going to be up in about 4 seconds or so. There's a window here for Epsilon to make something work. Can they do it? Gear is sitting on the flank. Scouts are sitting on the flank. There is Red swarming across this point. They have to deal with that Man of Steel, a.k.a. Greg, as he now drops to the floor. There's a 2-for-1 exchange, and Epsilon's not going to mind this all too much. Can they manage to close this one off? Or is Cadis' pipes going to be proving too strong? It looks like Dalit gets a double so far. Cadis not really hitting those pipes at all, as right now he gets focused down. Bash picks him up, but the exchange definitely there is going to be more or less equal. Nox manages to get out of that one, though. And I'm wondering if Epsilon's going to be able to push as aggressively as they should with this slide Uber window.
Yeah, I mean, they know they have the advantage. They don't necessarily have to push, but Numlock just loves to walk forward and do damage. And both those scouts tried to cap, but just ended up dying to those stickies in that confined space of the point. And right now, Epsilon are going to go in dry here without that charge. Even though they have advantage, they've already got a 2-man player advantage here. They're getting time on the point. Kiedis comes in from the left-hand side. He's going to take down a scout, but he cannot take down all 6 players.
And I obviously had the theory, if Skidmark Central are going to shoot out of those starting positions and get the damage done, get the first middles couple of done, I think they might have a chance. But right now it seems like Epsilon is starting focused. They're starting very, very solid. Now let's see if Gear is going to do that exact same jump again. He did the very aggressive roamer jump. This time around, though, looks like he's going to go towards the medpack. Got to pick that one up, and he sees Cadis up on that left-hand side. He's Numlock immediately sticking up that sewer area. Going to be able to do the damage. Gear now comes flying in, gets the shot. Numlock the shocky pick up a frag each. Gear drops to the floor. Flisco right now onto Nox's face. Cannot get him down. And as I say that, Skeege drops to the floor. So Epsilon eSports second middle back-to-back. So they pick this one up.
Yeah, just a great raid there from Epsilon. They saw pretty much immediately they went into middle that the whole of Skidmark Central had decided to move to their own right side. But they were just so clustered up there, it allowed Numlock to control that choke at the Epsilon med pack and then just send the soldiers in to destroy Scouts working the flanks. It was just well executed middle from Epsilon, I have to say.
Very well done, as right now they're going to move on here into this towards the second point. They have an Uber versus no Uber scenario. Let's see if Nox can hold on to this one. Epsilon's definitely going to try. You can see they're playing it safe. They're not going all out just yet. They're waiting, seeing if they can cap this one off without actually using that Uber. And it looks like the French medic is going to be able to hold on to this one. Force comes out. Massive air shot, though, from Mike as he completely denies Flisco, and Shocky finishes that one off. And now we have his 6 versus 5 Uber versus no Uber scenario coming into last here, James.
Yeah, they're going in, they're just going for frags here. They're not really concerned about Skeege's Uber charges. They know he doesn't have it anytime soon. He's only on 72. Even one Uber saw won't save him right now. He goes down. And Kairis and Flisco coming out at spawn, but it won't be in time. That's going to be 2-0 played.
Epsilon eSports doing pretty much what you expected them to, and they're looking good. Once again, you never really know which Epsilon you're going to see. The practice games, Epsilon, sometimes sloppy, a little bit ragey amongst each other. They're not really looking as smooth as they do. But then, when you suddenly play the officials, when it really matters, when it's about the points, they seem to be playing absolutely flawless. This time around, though, Skidmark Central gets that first frag onto Gear, and it might be something to look for here, as they do have a 6 versus 5, and Epsilon says, no, okay, you know what, we're not going to fight this one. We're in a little bit of a difficult position. Let's give him this middle, regroup, and wait here on this second point.
A really nice job there from Kairis on middle. Like, he got pressured really quickly from Gear, but he put like one sticky onto him and pushed him into the corner, and he didn't bother chasing that frag down. He kept the stickies forward, kept Numlock out, so he couldn't follow up on Gear's distraction. Just trusted his scouts to kill Gear in time, even though he was super low, but like, just a great read in the game there, and great confidence in his teammates, I'll say, played. So well played, Kairis. Well played, Skidmark Central.
It's one of those things in Doma, man. It's so rough because you get focused down so hard, and the scouts are really the ones that have to take care of the soldiers. And this time around, obviously, Greg and Kyler have their aim on. Did pick off gear this time around, and Epsilon. It looks like Epsilon is just not going to wait around. They're not going to like this whatsoever. The Suicide Mike in, he did not get the pick, and we can see right now that everyone from Skidmark moving around that sewer area is going to try and get in and actually get the Uber advantage out of this one as well. Nox Ubering way before Skeege. The multi comes out, though, and let's see in what way the Blues can manage to cap on this one.
Here comes the Epsilon Sledgehammer. Those players from the flank jumping in there, picking up Flisco, Greg, Kyler's working the choke area there. Oh, he's in the flank actually, he's coming in behind, but he gets shut down by Shock. He just saw him there thanks to Blues plug-in at the last minute.
Yeah, you got the plug-in finally installed. I still haven't been able to do it. I need to look into that for tomorrow, I guess, as right now. See Epsilon eSports taking up the middle, pretty much routine for them at this moment in time. And we saw this against Revolution Lamenta game last week, ladies and gentlemen, if you were here for that. Losing a middle, but then just making sure they win the fight. Show that they are better than the enemy. And right now, Gregors, with the absolutely fantastic headshot onto Nox, might be game-changing. But Epsilon, we know them. If they lose their mate, they're going to go completely balls deep. And can they catch Skeege before he hits that Uber? Doesn't look like it. It's the Dutch medic on 96% with his buddy Kyler for fun. Is going to be able to look good. Gear, though, is going to try. Does it not end up getting him, as 8 HP is going to separate the Dutch medic from a gravestone here.
Yeah, he juked around the rock there. Nice play from Skeege. I mean, that was maybe a little bit overconfident from Epsilon. Even without that headshot, the position they were walking into there was pretty bad. Like, Skidmark Central had the high ground. They just seemed to have a better position. All the Epsilon players were clumped up. I mean, it was unfortunate, or well played by Greg, whatever you want to look at it, but I think even so, it might have been a pretty good position there for Skidmark, but obviously, got that medic pick, they've got the big advantage here. They're sitting at a 25% advantage now because Nox is switching up to crits.
Yeah. We've been seeing this all season at Admirable. I know you haven't been around for the past couple of weeks with regards to school, but we've seen an influx from crit streaks happening in the high level. And obviously this crit streak, unless it gets like a 5-man or something, unless it completely catch them off guard, we'll have to wait and see. Crits comes out, gets one, but really with losing Nox in the process up to Cadis on the side, Greg getting the pick on the Shocky, and Mike gets one. It is a 4 versus 1 right now, still left up. They're going to pick up this point, and this is where the decisions come in. Are they going to ruffle in? Yeah, they are actually. Look at Cadis going super aggressive here. This might be a wrong call at Admirable. They have a massive advantage, and Cadis does decide, you know what, we're going to back all the way out of here. We're going to play on this advantage because Nox only just now respawning, and I think Epsilon is going to try and do something against this.
Yeah, that was well played. It was the right idea from Cadis. Had to give it a go, but managed to get out just in time. And now they've actually encouraged Epsilon to push here, even though they're a man down. They're putting a lot of hurt onto Greg, though. He's been forced back. He's getting pistoled back by Bash there, but he does survive. Everybody from Skidmark Central is alive, and the spawn comes in from Mike there. So now Epsilon have actually managed to pretty much get that point for free. Skidmark, the pressure's on them now to produce a good Uber push here, but whoa! Big jump forward from Gear here. He's trying to find Skeege. He gets the drop onto Skeege. His second rocket is true, Pledge.
Second rocket, absolutely fantastic there from Gear. Gets him down. Skeege dropping that out of that one, and Nox and the rest of Epsilon are going to love that very, very much. As Kayla's probably face-bobbing. He was right there in the enemy team, expected the Uber charge, suddenly looked around and decided, oh yeah, crap, that's not going to work. Greg getting the pick onto Numlock though, very well played. Looks like he is having a sniper aim on against 2 scouts. That's not going to work though. And Epsilon really, they're getting a little bit lucky twice, let's be completely honest. They got lucky that, obviously they got mauled first one off there, but Greg seems to be looking on with his sniper rifle. Maybe he can be the guy to sort of switch it around for Skidmark Central.
Here come Epsilon from PC right now. They're going to push through. They've spotted the Skidmark combo. They've just popped off right now. Mike is super weak, so Nox is going to continue here with Mike, but it looks like they might not go all the way here because the health is low and they just haven't made the distance with that Uber charge, but they will cap the Spire in time. Skeed sitting on 75% right now. Looks like Skidmark want to come in dry, and the scout comes in from below. That's Greg from the flank, separates Gear from the rest of his team, gets that frag, and Epsilon might just fail at capping this point. Cadis has got the high ground right now, Pledge.
I think this is the first time very clear that Skidmark Central saying, you know what, we've given you credit, we've given you 3 points, we're not going to do that anymore. And as Greg comes down from the side, manages to pick off Nox, Flisco gets the kill onto Numlocked, and this is what I like to see. This is what I like to see from these teams that, yeah, of course, they might not be absolutely fantastic, but Shocky Really, Shocky, can he actually do this? He managed to pick that one off. There were like 4 players around there. I thought there was no way he was going to do it, but he was actually able to pick that one off.
Look at that spawn wave.
Yeah, there's a massive... Let's see, Numlocked, Nox, and I think even Bash all got a forward out of that one. And very, very well played right now. Already rushing into the second point. And Skidmark Central cannot even believe that this is happening. That was very, very unlucky from their perspective.
Huge play there from Shocky, huge play. And right now, Skidmark are just sitting around choked. They're going to fall back to a slightly more defensive position. They want to use that high ground to their advantage. Both teams realise that Uber is pretty much neck and neck. I think it's still mediguns for both medics. Yes, yes, it's going to be a boring old Uber stalemate here, Pledge.
Yeah, let's see, both teams now on about 90% or so. And again, Epsilon has already shown earlier this game, in those Uber versus Uber situations, they seem to be the up and top team here, and let's see if they can still do that. Obviously, the best team in Europe, as I said there in their intro, undefeated since June 19th in an online environment. Let's see if they manage to break through onto this one. Skidmark Central back against the wall right now, onto that towards the second point. It's going to be Uber versus Uber. They're going to try and push through out that PC room. That's not going to happen. They're going to switch it around, and it looks like they're going to go through sewers right now. And they're a little bit undecisive. Look at that. Now, Numlock, yeah, okay, Numlock is deciding to go sewers. They're going to try and move on towards that left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. This time around, it looks like they're going to make their way through. And this massive fight is going to break out any second here, James.
Wow, that first sticky from Numlock was good, doing 50 damage onto Skeeds there from significant range. Right now, Ubers have been traded, but Epsilon have had to multi here. Kiedis went full forward there with that single Uber, and he's got a few seconds. He's going to be able to trap a couple of Epsilon players here. But the rest of his team... Oh, it's neck and neck here. 3 players down a piece, but the health is low for Kyler. He's not able to help in this fight. Kiedis jumps in, tries to grab the med pack, but gets denied by Bash mid-air. Now Bash is going to pick up another frag, maybe going to get Kyler as well. We'll see what happens here.
49 versus 58, ladies and gentlemen. 49, 58, 31. Kyler gets one there as Mike gets the triple shot in a row. They were not the most meat shots ever, but they were shots. And obviously with Nox getting out of that one alive, again, there's a slight window to work with there for Epsilon. And knowing Epsilon, they're not even going to wait for that. They're just going to move on because Kyler died so late. It is going to be 6 versus 5 for a while. And this is the Epsilon style of doing things, James. You know this. They just go. They accept the fact that they're better, and they break teams simply by being aggressive and better.
Yeah, Bash with a great cleanup there. I mean, that's always been the strength of Epsilon for me. They've got these amazing heavy classes who can do massive damage like Mike and Numlock, but the scouts are smart enough to stay alive until they're in these sort of low HP situations. Then they get these 3-4Ks, and that was just beautiful to watch. We're going to see an Uber here from Epsilon though from the right side. Skeege is about to get it in 5%. Epsilon are already on top of them. Skeege knows he's going to get it in time, drops down. Uber's the soldier, and they will hold on to the point, but he needs to make sure to save the rest of his team. Kyler's already down, but that's 2 frags coming in quickly. Epsilon lose Shocky and Gear, and that's going to force them back here, Pledge.
Let's see right now as everyone from Skidmark Central, they're going to rally onto this one. It is a 5 versus 4 scenario. Gear and Shocky only 4 seconds off from spawning. And I think Epsilon is going to like this one unless they can get Numlocked. And yes, they do. Very well played by Skidmark Central here. Again, look at that Uber differential though. As Skidge right now, he seems to be healing full time. But because that Uber was used so late, Nox is probably going to know they have a slight window here. And Shocky just raining havoc as the German super scout. Scout of the season, I think for 3 seasons in a row now, as he's been walking around this point, dancing around it like if it's a battle inspiring. You meat shot everything off that. As right now, Epsilon's going to use that Uber charge coming into last. 95% of the Skeege. He drops to the floor, and Epsilon's going to pick up the 3-0 here, James.
Yeah, Mike gets his man right there, and I mean the fact that the Skidmark Central scouts were down meant that they could just go straight forward. Like they had no fear of losing the flank or any backcaps. They were just straight in there and got that medic pick. And that was a great Uber push. We're going to see the 3rd, 4th middle coming up real soon, Pledge. What are you expecting to see here?
Weirdly enough, I'm seeing a crit screen coming out of Nox. And again, Admirable, I wanted to notice to you real quick, as soon as Gear jumps in already, he missed actually that jump. So I was already switching on over to Gear to see what he's going to do. We've seen a massive influx of crit screens so far, and Epsilon has been one of the teams that has been incorporating that. We see it a lot. Let's see how it's going to work this time. Wow. They just don't need it, I guess. 6-0. That's you don't get it any more dominated than that, I think, James.
I mean, it was really interesting play from Gear there. He moved, like you say, he didn't hit his rollout maybe exactly as he intended, but he jumped onto that low roof on the right side, which allows you to control their med pack. But then the call must have come in, and they all literally switched onto the Skidmark Central blue crate and just smashed that, used that high ground advantage as well. Now the crits has come in, there's Spawn coming with crits. Numlocked isn't really getting anybody apart from Greg here, but they've got time on the point, so it's looking good for Epsilon right now with only one player remaining. I think that's going to be all she wrote for this round, Pledge.
4-0 already, and that crit streak coming out, well, effective or not, it's not really going to matter, in all honesty. After a middle like that, perfect coordination, perfect firing, winning every single duel, it's domination across the board at the moment as Epsilon picks up the 4-0, and every single sort of theory that I had about Skidmark Central might be able to pick this one up can throw it back into the bin, ladies and gentlemen, because James Admirable McDonald was correct. And are we going to see a 5-0 coming out from Epsilon? Shockey's going to have something to say about it. He gets the first pick on Flisco.
Yeah, there was big pressure onto Numlock there. He's being kept on life support by Nox at the minute. And now moves forward to clean up the rest of those fleeing Skidmark Central players. Skeege is going to get chased here by Scout and Demoman. Numlock's going all the way on 50 HP. He is fearless. These guys are just having a lot of fun with this now. I think they've realised that victory is at hand, Pledge.
I see a lot of people actually commenting in chat that both Shockey and Bash have more points than Nox at the moment, actually. So that really says about how much those scouts are dominating. They're getting the captures, they're getting the kills, they're getting absolutely everything, and Epsilon just following them up on that one, getting the kills here and there. And ladies and gentlemen, Epsilon is going to keep undefeated here as they pick up a 9-0 winning record here in just a couple of seconds, because Skeege's Uber is going to run out. And unless some sort of miracle happens here, Epsilon is going to be able to cap this one off. That's right, now we can see them going towards that point. Are they really not going to cap this? Are you kidding me? How the hell did they mess that up?
Curses
How
the
the
caster.
hell did they mess that up? Did they just...
Kyler went beast mode and just destroyed Bash on the point.
I think Kyler got like 4 kills or something. What the hell is that?
He's Kyler, man. He just kyles them for fun. Ain't nothing to a Portuguese gangster. I see Skidmark Central are going to push through on PC here. I'm not sure if Epsilon has spotted that yet. There's a couple of players who could get caught out if they speed up a little bit, but they're going to just take their sweet time here. They're walking forward onto the point. Numlock doing a lot of damage, but making sure that he gets Nox out. And the Ubers are pretty much neck and neck. Slight advantage for Nox. I don't think it's going to play in as Epsilon just back out and give away that point for free, only losing gear. I think that's decent enough.
Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Epsilon realizing they had a slight window to work with, and out of position with less players, everything going up against them. They said, no, we still have an advantage here. Let's just go and kill Skeege, shall we? And they did. And Mike cleaning up house right here as it's raining blue at the moment. And Epsilon just saying, no, wait, okay, you're gonna cap this back up middle, just let us put you guys in your corner right now. We're not gonna let this happen. And Epsilon strolling through here, half the advantage against the work with. Skeege was going really fast. He does still have Medigun. With all the crit streak hype nowadays, James, in all honesty, I have to keep on checking every time a medic spawns.
I think me and you are the MVPs in this. I mean, you say Epsilon are definitely going to cap last, and they don't, and I say, yeah, this Uber disadvantage isn't going to matter at all. Then Skeege gets killed. Whoa. I think we've got magical powers.
We've been doing a good job today. Let's put it that way. But let's all try to forget about it as fast as we possibly can. Nox, ladies and gentlemen, is the man of the moment. 100% right now, sitting on the French medic's Uber gun. Let's see how he's going to be able to manage here as he comes in with that demo, with that soldier. They're going to make their way through PC, exactly what they did. The sticky trap from Cade is actually missing. Very unlucky to him as Numlock is going to be able to stay alive through this one. The Ubers get exchanged, though very well played by Skeeze. They lose Flisco in the process. And this is a weird Uber versus Uber exchange if I've ever seen one. There's players everywhere.
Yeah, great juke by the Skidmark Central combo, just moving around to block the Spire whenever Epsilon went in behind them, but they've just lost their medic, although Nox is down as well. It's a big trade and the scouts come in to clean up here for Skidmark Central. And you have to say hats off to the guys at SC. Well played there.
Yeah, very well played actually, holding that one off. Barely getting the Uber in time, but as soon as they did, they made the correct decisions. Did not even lose second. Now going to try and make their way through the middle. They have ×4 on the board. Double scout there onto the point. Numlock, I can already see red pipes raining across that point though. And both Kyler and Greg decide, you know what, let's regroup with our team and play on from here. And once again, James, I gotta have to point it out, the crit streak gets pulled out by Nox. Again, we've been seeing this trend a lot of European teams. It started in Division 1, it has waved over to the Premiership. Crit streak gets pulled out so often nowadays. And in this case, it is 100% correct. Now, what can Numlock do with it? That's the big question.
It's just a rage crits Krieg. Nox is a crazy French medic. Just going crits every time he dies. Oh, the crit sticky's too low. It goes under the little metal gantry. It doesn't get that soldier. Could have done a lot of damage there. And this is pretty much a fail. Crit Screek. Skeege is about to get his Uber. Epsilon are on the point. They're going to drop the hammer here. In comes Kairos and Daleth trying to do damage. They do find Numlock, but a lot of the Epsilon players have managed to get out. We've got 2 on the PC room flank and 3 at Sewer. Now on middle in position on the rock. And they'll be happy with this. They're going to be able to hold choke with ease here.
If Skidmark Central wants to, I think they can break through this one. Gear was only 4 HP, and I think Shocky was only 50 HP or something like that. They were low HP. Skidmark Central, just like your call in all honesty, Admirable, they said, you know what, no, we're not going to do it. The bomb comes into the Skeege. Why the hell do you move out of that one? You were perfectly safe. Decides to move back into the rocket of Gear. Took that one to the face, but obviously Nox's crit screen now coming around. Can he hit him? Cadus goes down. Daleth goes down. Very well played by the English Delman. Numlocked here as he manages to pick up 2. Can he do some more though with the rest of his team? As right now it is a 4 versus 4. Got to keep in mind, Skeege is not alive anymore. As Mike drops him to the floor. Flisco picks up the double though. And again, these fights, these 6 versus 6, heavy populated fights, they go all over the place without a clear winner.
I mean, great understanding of the sort of mechanic around using Crit Screek from Numlock. So often you just see like the demo man trying to snipe the medic or something or get some big important frag, but he just stops and deals with the players who are bombing in, trying to kill Nox. And maybe he got a little bit lucky with the juggle, but the positioning was good and his stickies did their job, picking up 2 frags off that crit. Doesn't matter if you get the medic and deny that Uber advantage. If you just get frags, it means you can cap. Frags are the important thing here, players. It's all about player advantages.
Here comes the crit screen, ladies and gentlemen. The sentry gets put up, and this is the thing. I think Epsilon knows that there's a sentry. They gotta identify the play. So they're suiciding in a player, and then they're gonna crit screek in. That's the way they're gonna do it, but obviously everyone from Skidmark Central, they're gonna be prepared for this one. Sentry gun is there, everyone's staying close to the floor, and Kyler's playing heavy weapon Sky. So Epsilon is not gonna be able to break through this one, lose the exchange through the 1, and with the super charge almost getting up here though from Skeege, I think Skidmark Central is gonna make the mistake of pushing out. And what I mean by that is hopefully something that Epsilon is about to show me here.
I mean, they really have no choice. There's 8 minutes left on the clock here. We play to the clock in Europe. They've got to push. Like, if they really want to get back in this or have any dreams or any aspirations whatsoever, they have to push right now. And not even just cap the Spire. They need to start pushing into Epsilon and try and get some just frag sprays, maintain some sort of man advantage. Gear goes down, but now the scouts of Epsilon are waiting in PC. There's a little bit of bait action going on here. We see Shocky and Bash trying to create a trap there, but Uber does get popped off on choke. But they've only managed to cap the Spire with that. They didn't get too many more frags. Mike went down to save his medic, but Gear's about to respawn. So I feel confident that Epsilon are going to be able to hold on to middle here, but there, I probably just jinxed it for you, Pledge.
Let's see right now as we have the 100% crit screen coming out, and this crit screen might be able to do quite a bit of stuff here. As the jump actually comes out from Cadus, he gets taken down, but Flisco doing huge work here, gets the double. Are they going to be able to capitalize on this one? Gear gets shut down as well. Flisco gets taken off, but Numlocked, in honesty, 1 pick with a crit streak, definitely not as useful as they probably would have liked to be. Where's everyone from Skidmark Central? They're waiting at their second point. With about 60% overcharge. Again, they're looking okay, but they gotta be in the faces of Epsilon. Like you said, James, they need to be right in there. Cannot give them an inch of space.
I mean, they're sort of playing a sort of standard game here. They're playing around their overcharge, and really they need to just start going into these sort of unexpected situations where Epsilon don't realise they're just about to push randomly in a 3v3 situation, things like that. But right now they're going to walk through choke here and try and milk this Uber for as long as possible. Epsilon are going to send in a wave of Spider-Man players, and Skeege is forced to pop to save his players here. Now they've sacrificed that Uber advantage, but there is counter Uber about to come in here. A counter crits actually. Numlock with the first sticky finds the scout on the point, denies Greg. The cap has stopped. Now, Nox gets juggled into the air. Numlock kills Flisco as Flisco kills Nox. I think Kyler had something to do with that. Orchidis as well. Wow, crazy, crazy stuff played.
Oh, you gotta kill Numlock there, ladies and gentlemen, as the guy hits about 3 pipes in a row, now jumps in. Balls of steel right there as the English Devilman managed to get the damage done. And his soldier buddy Gear manages to land the frag there on Cadus. And Epsilon really just showing how much they feel exactly when to go aggressive, when they know they can win, and when they're allowed to take risks right there. As Epsilon once again going to recap that middle. I think I've seen this round, I've seen this middle going like 5 or 6 times. I've already seen it going back and forth. And Nox right now switching back to that regular medigun. Skeege himself still sitting on the regular medigun. So we're going to have a solid advantage here for Skidmark. But again, are they going to expect Nox to have the regular Uber right now? or are they going to wait for the crit streak and then wait for a little bit too long?
Yeah, you have to wonder here, what is the Skidmark Sentinel battle plan? Are they just trying to save face here and make sure they don't get capped out? Or are they actually going to try and win this? Are they going to push? Because there's only 5 minutes left now and there's a 4-round differential. They need to basically get around a minute to win this. Against the best team in the world. Oh, sorry, in Europe. In the world. Come on, come on.
Oh, we're going to have to wait and see in a couple of months, ladies and gentlemen. As right now we see the 100% versus 100% scenario. It's both Skeege and Nox having that Uber charge ready, both on about 100 or so HP. Not able to get into the frag, and it looks like Epsilon is the ones that put on the gauntlet. They really screw it on and are going to try and manage to get some stuff done here.
Look at the flank coming in here. Skeege and Dalek are going all the way around.
Like, I was about to comment on it, but then I realized, what am I going to say? This is weird. And that is about as accurate as I can make it, ladies and gentlemen, as I don't like that decision whatsoever. Did they not see them or something? There's no way they can hold last here. That was very, very debatable as a decision, James. I think that is pretty much as polite as we can say it.
Maybe a little bit of a brain fart. There was this sort of battle going out throughout the maps, though, because everybody knows Epsilon love to push PC. They do it really well. They've got a good mechanic to it when they move through with numlock. But the soldiers from Skidmark Center were always there, always spamming them and slowing them down. And then maybe what Skidmark Center wanted to do there was just stall out the Epsilon combo for a second in the PC room and move to the flank. But Greg had already gone down, and then they just end up in middle. I'm not sure if they were going to flank all the way around, because there's no point. It was Uber versus Uber. Like, they had nothing to gain from this element of surprise, because Nox was just going to Uber unless you got really lucky there.
Yeah,
but I think they were trying to find the flank players and kill them because they knew that the combo had been stalled out a little bit, but it didn't work.
I think maybe, like, in all honesty, if they didn't lose Kyler and Greg, maybe that could have been an alright exchange, but in all honesty, as soon as Greg died, it was all going to be a snowball effect from there, and that is all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Epsilon eSports is going to pick up the first map here. They're going to go on and keep their perfect record right there. 9 map wins, 0 map ties, and 0 map losses so far this ETF2L season. Crackline yesterday went to 10-0. Can Epsilon manage to do the exact same thing, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to map switch. We're going to head over onto Viaduct as the second cast here in Europe ever online is going to hit on Koth Viaduct here with myself and Admirable obviously casting. Warden is on the camera, ladies and gentlemen, here for Team Fortress TV. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.